Hey, seniors. I want to take a moment to talk about priorities in contemporary world problems. In a better scenario, we would be focusing on the global problems and not those that are local and impact us immediately. The truth is, we are all to various degrees confronting real and immediate problems that take precedence. And in view of this, it's my hope to provide clarity and support moving forward. All right, so just so you know, as I sort of approached and considered and took in your feedback, there are some things that I know about SAS students that have driven this decision. The first is the SAS students' desire to get work on time and to do it well, and not only do it well, but exceed expectations. There's no joy in not meeting a deadline and having to worry about these things later on in a try as you attempt to manage current work and past work. So the fact that a number of you haven't had papers in one is predictable, and two is an indication of the enormous amount of things that are happening. All right, so it's no reflection on you, it's a reflection of the circumstances that you're facing. And, just to reiterate and lay it on a little thick, it's really been a privilege working with SAS students. You continually go above and beyond. There are exceptional cases where it becomes unsustainable and support is required, and this is one of those. So my plan is that this provides adequate support. If you don't feel that it does, I truly encourage you to touch base with me and work with me. All right, let's move. So priorities. We have a couple different options here. The first column, you didn't finish your mid-try essay. The second one is you finished your mid-try essay. All right, you'll see some overlap as well. So first off, if you did not finish your mid-try essay, do not do the essay. Okay, that's my encouragement for you as we think about what to prioritize. I am encouraging you / forcing you to think about where we are at as a class and put your limited energies into maintaining that. So try and keep up with the homework, number one. All right. I'm going to try to make the deliverables minimal. For instance, your next assignment is listening to the first part of chapter 6 or reading it. All right. Secondarily, try to attend synchronous class, even if this means needing your camera off, even if this means being distant, having your eyes closed, whatever that means. I do encourage you to try to, in some capacity, engage with the synchronous sessions. All right. Again, number 3, if you have not finished your essay, try and watch the true cost. Let's salvage what we can from the first part of this trimester, and in doing so, not just reclaiming some really important details from the first part of the try, but also exploring a source that you are going to be able to employ in your final project. So you're kind of doing double duty here. On the one hand, you're getting some great stuff from earlier in the try, some important stuff, and on the other hand, working toward a final project. If you are in honors, here we're in number 4, and by the way, this is linked I have a PDF on Schoology as well, and there is a Google Doc link to questions to consider here. I'm not requiring a submission. These are just in order for you to frame the most important materials as we move forward. And again, there's more actual information on that link once you click on it. Honors folks, please read this chapter from a textbook and apply Mouse's concepts of gift exchange to the problems with NGOs. I kind of indicated this a little bit toward the end of our last session, on our session, but think about that. Again, there's no deliverable here. We will structure a conversation after. It'll be later. I haven't set the date for that. I'll do that shortly, but it will certainly be after the senior retreat, which is not next week, but the week after that. Your final project will be a final project on sustainable development goals, which you're reading about in chapter 14, and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and the ways by which NGOs attempt to solve these big problems, these big goals for 2030, the SDGs. And you'll do so with a chosen country in the Southern Hemisphere. One of the things that we're really looking at this trimester is that dynamic that happens between the North and the South. There is much to do about the East and the West, and not to minimize that, I think that that conversation can eclipse some larger or some other conversations and dynamics between North and South. So let's focus on that. Okay. You have finished your mid-try essay. Again, try and keep up with the homework. It's the same challenge. Try and attend synchronous classes. Even though you turned in a paper, that does not indicate to me that you are not having a hard time. I'm starting with the point that we're all having hard times to different degrees. And you are very well experiencing similar struggles with individuals who weren't able to get in a mid-try essay. And I just want to recognize that and note that you may not be able to be completely engaged as well. Same as with this first session, if you are honors, please do read this linked. And then you'll have some options moving forward. You can do your final project on SDGs and NGOs in a chosen Southern Hemisphere country, or you can also do a special topics project. And I suggest that for you because you might have more latitude to do more research at this end. My guess and starting point with those who didn't finish the mid-try essay is that you have less energies to sort of construct a special project's final assessment. So I'm offering that here. If you are an individual who has a particular interest in a special projects assignment but didn't do this, let's have a conversation before getting into that, just because I want to make sure that is sustainable for you. But going back here, conduct a special projects final project. I have some in mind that I think would be pretty cool things to consider. And at the same time, I would field your thoughts as well. Things that just come up off the top of my mind is with the Biden administration, there's been really some remarkable statements that the Biden administration is making with their relationship toward the global economy and world politics. So especially with respect to executive orders. And we looked at one, which was Buy American executive order, but there's been others as well, right? You might think of relationship with the Paris Climate Accord, or joining the World Health Organization once again. There's all sorts of things that have happened. So you could design special projects around that. That's one thing that comes to mind. I have others as well, but I won't sort of use this platform to say that. All right. Final note on these larger assessments. For all of you, I will be grading your strongest final assessment, and that one will go in the grade book. So for instance, if you've done both the mid-tri essay and the final project, I will throw out your weaker grade. If, for instance, you didn't do the mid-tri essay, it means that I would take your final grade and it would serve in that capacity. And again, for those of you who did the mid-tri essay, your weaker grade will be thrown out. All right. I think I'm just gonna table it here. I'll let you sort of figure out where you're at and where you're going. Please reach out to me with any questions or thoughts. I want to make sure that you're feeling supported during this really tough time. Definitely don't want to minimize it. All right, take it easy, team.